Started a game we never got to finish.
I was just fooling about.
I was.
I'm your huckleberry.
It is hotter than freaking bullfrog on blacktop pavement.
We basically have
YouTubers
that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Welcome to the fucking show.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Duchess, and this is where we talk about a little bit of everything. Earlier, I made biscuits and guacamole live. If you missed it, you definitely need to go back and watch it. It was probably hilarious. Hope everybody's doing well. Appreciate y'all joining me. We're going to talk a little bit about Chris Dontell's sentencing in the Meagan Jackson case. If you guys are not familiar, this case comes out of Horry County, South Carolina, where I'm living, and Chris Dontell was our deputy coroner here in Horry County, South Carolina. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you for choosing to spend your time here while we go over Chris Dontell's sentencing. Nearly 4 years after the body of Gregory Rice was found wrapped in a tarp and dumped in a South Carolina river, his ex-girlfriend, who is Meagan Jackson, reported him missing. She was convicted of murder. Meagan Jackson, 40 years old, a former body transporter and the mother of Gregory Rice's 4 children, was accused of plotting to kill him with her then lover that she was having an affair with, Christopher Dontell, who is our former Horry County deputy coroner. And like I said, the two were having an affair at the time of Rice's death, and both were initially charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and kidnapping. The jury found Jackson guilty of murder on June 17th of 2025, and she was immediately sentenced to life in prison, as she should have been. And so tonight we're going to listen to that sentencing of Chris Dontell, and we're also going to go back and we're going to listen to the sentencing of Meagan Jackson, because we didn't get a chance to take a listen to that. I just happened to see Miss Brittany pop in at the same time when I was talking about that. Hey, Miss Brittany, thank you so much for the pictures that you sent me. Those tomatoes look so good. The Duke said, I want to know if he's local to us so I can go and get some. And I said, well, I don't know if he's local to us, babe. But thank you for sending me that. Oh, awesome. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go back over here to the chat and just say hey to everybody. Let me get my comments on the stage. Let me see if I can get them loaded up. Hey, Bobo, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Chris. I need to know if you believe his story that he brought Gregory to the funeral home because he was scared that Meagan was going to kill him. No, I think that he helped her to cover it up. I think the reason that he was brought there was after the fact. But I think it's very interesting. He didn't have to say anything. So, and Chris says, and also, what did you think about the wife's impact statement? Well, we might listen to that. And I'd like to hear what you guys think about that. Hey, Chico, thank you so much for being here. The Elizabeth is walking but listening. Thank you, Elizabeth. I hope you're doing good. Been thinking about you. Hi, Kylie. Hadn't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing good. Yet don't fall over, Elizabeth. Don't fall over. Oh my God, did y'all hear that was funny? Hey, Chatty. Thank you. If you guys watched the live stream earlier, I laughed so much. That was so enjoyable to do something besides like talk about missing cases. And hubby said the guac was excellent, and he went and ate some after we got off the live stream. So the biscuits turned out great. I need to go take some to my neighbor Carla. I called her, but she didn't call me back. She might have been busy, so I might go take her some tomorrow. Excuse me, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper and got indigestion. Hey, Mercedes girl. It's good to see you. You feel the same way? I know nothing about this case, so y'all be schooling me tonight. Well, we're definitely going to listen to it. I really wish that I could have been able to stream that entire court case because it was a lot. And what was even more interesting was the defense tried to say, like, not to believe Chris Dontell. But I think that's because Meagan Jackson knew that Chris was going to roll over on her. And I'm glad that she got life because it's deserved for sure. Your kitten is so sweet. And the way that he looks at you, oh my gosh, so sweet, so sweet. The links that I'm going to be playing tonight, which is Meagan Jackson learns of her fate. We're going to look at that stream, and we're also going to look at Chris Dontell's learning his fate in court, and this is all on Court TV. So we'll just go through and play what you guys, want to take a look at, and we'll discuss a little bit of it. I won't keep you all night, but I feel like it's very important because this is local to me. We have so much going on here in the Myrtle Beach area. It's crazy. Chris said, Chico, bottom line, they were both married, meeting at the mall parking lot to have sex, and the husband came up dead, and they were both charged. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Basically, it was an affair. And it was really tough because she had 4 kids with Greg Rice, and they were there in court. And I just can't imagine my mother having an affair with the deputy coroner who helped to hide my father's body, and then like knowing that my mom did that. It's sick. I think the wife blamed it on COVID-19, basically, which I don't even think you can say that on YouTube. Don't strike me, YouTube. But that's pretty much what she said. She blamed the whole COVID situation for that happening. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a person's character. That's a character flaw. You can't blame it on something like people having to social distance and all of that mess. No, it says more about who the person really is on the inside. You know. Yeah, we can watch it too if you want to watch what his wife had to say. I think it'll be very interesting. Hey, Dragon. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, exactly. The wife blamed it on everything but him. And that's the whole thing is like, you got to make the person take accountability for what they've done. Like you can blame all the other things that you want to, but I think it's that she just didn't want to accept that he would do something like that to her. But honey, it's on him. That's a character flaw. That's a him problem. It's not even a her problem. And I'm sure she probably beat herself up about it. Because I have a lot of friends that have been through a similar situation where they were cheated on and they blame themselves. But it's not a them problem. It's the person who did the cheating. It's their problem. You know what I mean? And it should never lead to you having an affair with somebody and causing the unaliving of somebody else over it. I mean, the fact that it took this long to get to this end result, like Chris Dontell could have came forward and said all of the things at the beginning, but he never did. It's only when it came down to it did he decide to speak up about it. So I just appreciate you guys joining me to talk about this. There is another quick update that I want to give you before we jump into this. I got a call from one of my friends from my hometown back home in North Carolina to let me know about a missing case that I had shared back in June from a 15-year-old that was missing in High Point. And I wanted to give you guys that quick update because it was not the update that I was expecting. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to pop over here because I just want to make sure that I share this with you right out of the gate. This comes from Fox 8 News from the Piedmont Triad area of North Carolina. And this case is in the area where I was born and raised. Randolph County. Missing teen found dead in Trinity, North Carolina after being shot multiple times, according to Randolph County deputies. Y'all, that's where I grew up. Now, a lot of you guys remember Marissa Carmichael's case. Marissa Carmichael is from High Point, North Carolina, where this young teen was from. And High Point is just north of Trinity. Trinity is a small country town. And as you go up north of that, Randolph County turns into Guilford County. And High Point kind of sits on the Randolph County, Guilford County line. That's where Marissa Carmichael is from, who is still missing, by the way. And then it turns into Greensboro as you go further north. And, you know, Marissa went missing in Greensboro. So I covered a lot of cases in High Point because we have an extreme crime problem in High Point. But when I got this update today from one of my friends that I went to high school with, they sent me this article and said, "Did you see this?" I could not believe it. So it says here, The body of a teen has been identified after being found in a vacant area in Trinity last month. I would love to know the exact area this happened in. I'm going to make a call to a friend of mine that works for Randolph County Sheriff's Office that I went to high school with, and I'm hoping that she'll be able to give me some specifics, because this leaves me feeling extremely unsettled when it happens close to family. On June the 25th of 2025, the Randolph County Sheriff's Office responded to an underdeveloped tract of land in the Trinity area of Randolph County when they were told about unidentified human remains. Investigators located evidence on the scene that Chance Trevon Jenkins, 15 years old, guys, he's just a baby, of High Point, had died after being shot multiple times. First of all, what is somebody doing unaliving a 15-year-old this way? This is not good. And it says at the time Jenkins was unidentified. And the reason we're just now hearing about this is because he was sent, that body and the remains, were sent to the North Carolina Office of Chief Medical Examiner. And they did not get this information back with a positive identification until July the 15th. Which is, and see, he had been reported missing to the High Point Police Department by his family around June the 16th. And it says the investigation is ongoing. Chris says, my daughter's sister was killed in a one-car accident in Randolph County. Oh my gosh, Chris, for real? You'll have to message me and let me know what's going on with that. Because I know Randolph County like the back of my hand. It's the biggest county in North Carolina, but most of the people in Randolph County, well, I'm probably related to them. Because most of the people there, like, somehow or another, we're related. That's my place. I know a lot about a lot of things there. You'll have to let me know where exactly in Randolph County, because that's a pretty big area. And I'm so sorry that happened, Chris. That's terrible. Now here you can see that, which they have the flyer blacked out here, and it says case closed. But I mean, is the case really closed? I mean, I hope that, High Point, that's Guilford County. I hope that High Point is going to continue to investigate who unalived this young teen. Right? Surely that's going to happen. And of course, this update says the missing persons case is now closed. Earlier this week, our detectives were notified that a body was found in Randolph County outside of our department's jurisdiction, and it was identified as Chance Jenkins. The investigation into how he died is being handled by law enforcement in the jurisdiction where he was found. So they're going to let Randolph County investigate that. My parents know the sheriff very well, so I do hope that he will do a thorough investigation. It says any additional information would come from that agency. The High Point Police Department's missing persons case is closed. We know this is not the outcome Chance's family hoped for. Our thoughts are with his family and friends as they grieve. This was the case, and if you guys have been coming to the missing persons live streams that I had on Monday, I had actually shared this back in June, and this was the flyer that I had shared when I told you guys he was missing in the area of East Green Drive and Brentwood Street. Now, this is right on the border of the Randolph County, Guilford County, where Archdale, North Carolina goes right into High Point, North Carolina. 311 goes right up there. Brentwood Street and East Green is right off of 311 that goes directly up through Trinity, Archdale, right up on into High Point, into Kernersville. And Green Street and Brentwood is probably one of the most dangerous parts of High Point. There's a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of gang activity. And it's really sad to know that this kid was taken too soon in such a violent way. I have so many questions. I'm speechless at this moment, honestly. And our thoughts and prayers go out to Chance's family. These situations are so scary, which is why it's so important that you know where your kids are at all times. I know that parents have to work, but there's a lot of kids out here that their parents are not actively involved in their life. And these kids are just out here on the street, fending for themselves, doing whatever, being adults. Their 15-year-olds are out there on these streets living like adults. And it's so very concerning. And I just hate that it had to be this way. It really is heartbreaking. So I wanted to give you guys that update because I got sent that after I saw it in my email when I went over to see Miss Brittany's pictures that she sent me, and my heart just sank, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So I wanted to make sure that I brought you guys that update. So we're going to go over here to Court TV. I want to go over here, and we're going to first watch, I think we'll just start out with Meagan Jackson's. Learning her fate. This is such a wild case. Chris says, my son hates that I won't let him run the streets with his friends all day and night when he is here. I don't care if he is 18 or not. Well, I can't blame you. Because, there's areas down where you are, Chris, that aren't safe either. If I'm being honest. It's not really safe here in Myrtle Beach. And, during the 4th, Myrtle Beach had to put out a warning that if you were under age 18 and you were caught out past 9 o'clock that night, that you were going to be arrested if you were a teenager out. They had a curfew on all teenagers. If you were under 18 and you were out during the holiday weekend, well, you were going to get picked up by the cops. And that's because there has been so many homicides, shootings, gang violence going on right here in Myrtle Beach. And needless to say, the teens weren't happy about it, but I feel it was in their best interest to do that. Because these kids are out here, some of these kids are just out here doing whatever they please because they don't have any adults that are, taking care of them. So, hey, Roxy, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. So let me get over here and I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started on Meagan Jackson learning her fate. Like I said, this happened about 3 weeks ago when she received 4 weeks ago now when she received her sentencing. She was sentenced to life in prison after being found guilty of murdering her ex-boyfriend, Gregory Rice. So let's listen to this. And this is fair use. I do want you guys to try to listen to this as much as possible. I will stop it intermittently. But I just feel like this is for educational purposes because we need to stay aware about what's going on. Baby, you want to shut my door? Thank you, honey. I love you. The Duke's in there watching his disc golf tournaments because we're going to play tomorrow. That's why I couldn't do my biscuits tomorrow at 5:45 because we have a disc golf tournament that he wants to go play in because he's feeling better. So, all right, let me make this my full screen so you guys can actually see this better. Can y'all see that okay? Put a 1 in chat if y'all can see this better. Appreciate y'all joining me. Let's take a listen. Again, this is all credit for this live stream right here that was put out by Court TV. Again, this is fair use, and I don't take any credit for any of the video footage that is used in this live stream. This live stream is not monetized. I do not monetize my live streams. Unless they're nothing to do with cases. Anything that I talk about with cases, I do not put my monetization on. Yes, this channel is monetized, but I do not turn on monetization on any of my videos. So all credit goes to Court TV, and we appreciate them letting us play this very informative information about these cases. Let me see if I got a banner. I think I might have a banner. Yeah, let me run this banner while we're playing it. Hey, Sunday to Doodles. It's so good to see you. Chatty, did you hear me in the last live stream where I said, hubby, there's Chatty. She's the one that keeps our dog's treat addiction going. Thank you for sending the super sticker for her earlier. I'm going to go get her some treats tomorrow. I appreciate you. All right, let's play this. Now, if y'all have questions or you want me to stop it, I won't be watching the chat on my phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that the jury has reached a verdict. Anything from the state before we bring the jury in?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are with us, I get this instruction every time before the jury comes in. And that is simply to let you know that we cannot have any type of outburst or anything of that nature, regardless of what the verdict is. This is just simply to let you know that if you're unable to contain your emotions, you need to excuse yourself from the courtroom now. Because regardless of what the verdict is, there's to be no display or no outbursts or any sign of emotion whatsoever. All right, so if you need to be excused, you can go ahead and excuse yourself now. All right, let's go ahead and bring the jury in.
Y'all know why he said that, right? Because in Horry County, people tend to turn up in the courtroom and act a fool.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I understand the jury's reached a verdict. Is that correct? All right, and have you written the verdict on the indictment, signed it as the foreperson and dated?
Yes.
All right, if you would please hand it to the bailiff. All right, I'll ask the clerk if she would please publish the verdict.
She just looks like she's in another world, don't she? Just no emotion.
Indictment number 2021 GS 2601191. The State of South Carolina, County of Horry versus Meagan Marie Jackson as to the charge of murder, we the jury, by unanimous consent, find this defendant guilty. Signed by foreperson Jeffrey Roberts, dated June 17, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if this is your verdict, please so signify by raising your right hand. Thank you.
Well, let the record reflect that all jurors raised their right hand. Any opposed to the jury by the defense?
No, sir.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your service. All right, anything in mitigation from the defense?
No, we asked that she be given credit for the time that she was in jail off of her sons and credit for home detention. I don't have the exact figure, but look at, we'll present that to you in our strong motion.
All right. Ms. Jackson, anything you want to say, or does anybody want to speak on your behalf?
Your Honor, she wishes not to speak.
All right. Any prior record?
No, Your Honor.
Let me just stop it right there and say the fact that she has nothing to say tells me that she doesn't have any regrets. And she doesn't show any remorse. Chris says, Duchess, I think someone from the Elvis family would be a great live. If the Duke doesn't want to ask, I know Nana's good friends with Terry Elvis. Yeah, hubby knows both of them very well. He does their heating and air. He's known them for quite some time. And he has spoke at length with them personally about this. And they know that I have a channel and where I share missing cases and stuff like that. And he has asked them before, but her mom just was so emotional. She just didn't feel like she could do it. And I never want to pressure anybody to do that. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. They're good people. They really are. They've been through so much, Chris. But I do want to talk about her case. I'm getting some things together. And I want to take a ride down to Peachtree Landing and to a couple different places. We're going to take some road trips for sure. Hey, Teresa, it's good to see you. I hope you're having a good night. Thanks for being here.
All right, I'll hear from victims this time.
And Your Honor, did you need me to address the issue of home detention or not?
No, I'm not.
Your Honor, this is from Zachary Rice, who is the older son of Gregory Rice at the time. Once Gregory Rice was killed, Zachary Rice took custody of the 4 half-siblings. And he did this fairly quickly since we did not have WebEx available to him. He says 5 lives completely shattered, showed no remorse, waited 5 years for this, just celebrated Father's Day without him again. I would like the maximum in sentencing, took my father's life, and I want her to pay eye for an eye and lose hers. And then, Your Honor, if I can have Ms. Savannah Rice come up. Your Honor, she's understandably emotional. She says, Your Honor, I believe that my opinion for how long she should be sentenced does not reflect what has already been done. This crime has torn apart my family, others' families, and friends beyond any measure. My siblings and I have all suffered greatly, not only from the loss of my father, but the loss of a mother too, the loss of our lives. We have been waiting so many years for just a bit of closure, and this is it. We will never have the chance to freely live our lives without the thoughts of what has been done following behind us. It has become a challenge to rebuild and grow from everything that happened. There are still days where I just cry and wish I could go back in time to maybe prevent what happened. I can't do that though, and I will forever have the thought that I can't change anything alongside me. This trial and getting up on the stand has been one of the most heartbreaking and painful things I've ever had to do. It has also been one of the most relieving and rewarding things. I finally got to say what has been sitting in my brain the last 4.5 years. It was a relief finally being able to tell the truth and to go towards a cause. I believe that 50 years to life would be a sufficient amount of time. I thank you for your time, for listening to what I had to say. Thank you.
Can you imagine how she must be feeling right now? This is her mom and her dad. Yeah, that's her in the pink hair. My heart goes out to those kids because they're losing both of their parents. They're losing both of their parents. It's so sad.
Does Your Honor wish the state to address sentencing?
Well, if there's anything you want to put on the record.
Your Honor, the state is asking for the maximum term of life imprisonment. We believe that there is clear evidence that this defendant not only plotted and planned this murder, but also tried to frame the victim for things that she was doing. As Savannah said, and as I said in explaining why Zach couldn't be here, this really did destroy a number of lives. Zach was forced to take in 4 children, his half-siblings, as a result of them being EPC'd after Meagan Jackson was arrested. We believe that there was nothing short of life in prison that would address this crime.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you have been found guilty of murder by a jury of your peers. The sentence of the court, I agree with the state. The sentence of the court is that you be committed to the Department of Corrections for the remainder of your life. You'll get credit for any time, sir. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, anything further from the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, court is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Such a sad, sad situation. I don't know why she's acting all emotional. She didn't have anything to say. She could have apologized to her kid. She could have said anything, but she didn't. Make it make sense. I can't make it make sense. Yeah, she wasn't crying when she unalived him. That's exactly right. Chico says, I don't be understanding the shit. I just don't. If you're unhappy, freaking leave. Divorce. You wouldn't have to be sneaking in no damn parking lot. They wasn't even married, Chico. But they had 4 kids together. She could have just said, hey, I'm done with this relationship. She's selfish. It aggravates the shit out of me. All right, let me pull up Chris's here. All right, let me get back over here. Booted myself off when I came back down. And again, this is fair use. All credit for this video goes to Court TV. And I did drop the link for the video that I just played. And I will also drop the link in chat for this video by Court TV. This was streamed 3 days ago. And this is South Carolina versus Chris Dontell sentencing. And I will drop that link. Give me 1 second. All right. Let me make this full screen so you guys can see that better. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like, hit the dislike, sub up, join the membership. We appreciate y'all being here to talk about this very important case that has had an outcome that it should have had. And I just pray that this family finds some type of closure. It will never be the closure that they want. But for 5 years, they've been waiting for this closure. And I am glad that Meagan Jackson did get life in prison for sure. Let's see if we can move it forward a little bit. I think it takes a little bit.
Don't have to be seated.
Your Honor, I passed up 2 more letters that I just received.
Okay, are these?
One is from.
Now, again, this is Chris Dontell, and he's facing up to 20 years. Chris was the former deputy coroner in my county, in which Meagan Jackson was having an affair with. And you can find those details in the description of this video. The link to this video, all credit to Court TV. Again, this is fair use for educational purposes, so we can have a full understanding of the sentencing for Mr. Chris Dontell. And so we're going to get into it. If you guys have any questions or I need to stop, let me know.
Zach Rice, who was Greg Rice's son, and the other is from Kevin Rice, one of Greg Rice's brothers. And then Savannah Rice is present and would wish to address the court, but I'll call the case first with Your Honor's permission.
Please.
Your Honor, this is State of South Carolina, County of Horry versus Christopher Dontell. Your Honor, Mr. Dontell pleaded what I call straight up to the court as we were prepared to begin his trial to accessory after the fact under True Bill 2024 GS 26-03534 and criminal conspiracy to commit murder 2021 GS 26-01198. My use of the term straight up means that he did so with absolutely no discussions and no agreements with the state. As I said, the state was poised to proceed with trial when the defendant stood up and expressed his desire to plead guilty. He did testify in the trial of his co-defendant, Meagan Jackson, last month.
All right. Let's go ahead and swear the defendant, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Good morning, Ms. Zimmercheck. How are you?
Good morning, Your Honor. Doing well, thank you.
I'm doing well. Does the state wish to go first, or would the defense like to be heard first?
Your Honor, I think that obviously we would prefer to hear. We were just handed a copy of the 2 letters that you received as well, and I think they said Miss Savannah Rice would like to.
Yes.
And we're fine with that.
Let's go ahead and hear from the state and the victim's statement. Okay.
Okay, so just state your name. Say your name so the court reporter has it.
Savannah Rice.
Good morning, Ms. Rice.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I know you're nervous. I just want you to act like you're just talking to me, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor, for hearing my statement. I've had a lot of time to think about what happened, and that doesn't change any way that I feel about the sentencing of Chris Dontell. Chris may have had his family to worry about, but he also had my family to worry about the day he chose to continue being an accomplice. He held me as I cried and begged for my dad to come back. He told me it would be okay and that we would find my dad. He didn't tell me that we would find him dead. He could have told the cops what happened. He could have made the choice to do the right thing. I've ran dozens of scenarios through my mind. He could have went to the cops and ended this years ago, but he didn't. I will never forgive him for that because my siblings and I have lost our parents and our wives. We will never be able to live a normal life, and even more so, this has made it worse. Chris deserves maximum sentence possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rice. Ms. Rice, I do want to tell you, I understand how hard this has been on you and your family. Well, I can't fathom the pain that you've suffered as a result of this. I just want to commend you for your strength, for being here, for being there for Ms. Jackson's trial. I know that takes a lot of strength, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That is so heartbreaking. Did you see her reaching her hands back and forth? She did such an amazing job. But it hurts me to think what these kids have been through. I cannot even fathom the pain that they have been through. And she's exactly right. Chris Dontell was a deputy coroner. He could have came forward at any given time 5 years ago and did the right thing, and he didn't. And I commend Savannah for being so strong to get up there and face Chris Dontell and speak what she needed to say. And I just really hope that these kids can go on to, this is going to be so hard for them mentally and emotionally. But I hope that they will become adults with integrity and good character. Because I guarantee you they will never, ever forget this. I'm not sure, Chico, who that is, to be honest with you. Hey, Tree Lynn T. Good to see you again. I'm not sure, but obviously it's someone there that's a support person for her. And the look on her face is saying, you did a good job, Savannah, and I'm proud of you. And I think that's so important. She is Twist, very brave. It's good to see you, Twist. Thanks for being here. Just remember that as adults, you want a Cheeto puppy. Puppy knows I got Cheetos. She's got to have a Cheeto. That's her crunching. Hey, Laughing Heart. These cases really bother me. Because kids can't pick their parents, and they never know when something like this is going to happen. If you have kids, if you're around kids, you make good decisions, because every decision you make impacts your children's lives for the rest of their lives. Trillian, you love Cheetos, and so does your cat. I got these baked Cheetos, and let me tell you, if you even just shake the bag, she thinks they're treats for her. Chico says, I give my Cheetos and Doritos. Don't judge me, y'all. I'm sure they're, yes, puppy. You are such a baby. Okay, one more Cheeto. Like you haven't. Yes, you're such a sweet baby. Here. My goodness. Okay. All right, let's get back to it.
Does the state have anything else to present?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if you could just bear with me just for a moment. Let me take a look at these two letters.
Hey, Fuzzy Puff, it's so good to see you. Have you ever considered lending your voice to audiobooks? Totally off topic. I've been asked that before. I used to do some ASMR stuff on my backup channel. I had some requests for people ask me to read some stories and things like that because it helped them to relax. They really enjoyed that. So I have been asked if I would consider doing voice work before, but I have not actually done that professionally. I'll have to look into that though. But thank you, Fuzzy Puff, and I appreciate you being here. I hope you're doing well.
All right, thank you. Record will reflect that I have had a chance to read over two statements written by Mr. Zachary Rice and Mr. Kenneth Rice.
And Your Honor, I think you're probably used to be arguing vociferously at sentencing, but typically when one co-defendant testifies against another co-defendant, the state's position is that it's in Your Honor's discretion as to any sentencing.
I understand. Okay, Ms. Zimmercheck. I will say, Ms. Zimmercheck, you can go ahead, Stan. I was just going to tell you, thank you for emailing me the letters. I was able to take a look at each one of them in chambers and read through them. And I certainly appreciate that, being able to have the time to do that. But I'll go ahead and let you begin your presentation.
Thank you, Your Honor, and may it please the court. And in an interest of time, I rarely have I come across a sentencing where I've had so much outreach of people wanting to show their support, which is why I sent that packet to Your Honor and the state so that you would have time and that we wouldn't have to waste time reading through all the letters. What I think, Your Honor, was interesting about those letters, not just the sheer volume, but just the diversity from which they came. We're talking about church people, professionals within the community, and then just normal everyday people that you work with and servers. And so I wanted to point that out. I emailed these as well, Your Honor, but I would like to talk about them, the pictures that I sent as well. And Your Honor, the first picture was a picture of Chris and Meagan right as she was, I'm sorry, I've got Meagan on the brain, of Chris and Erica right while she was pregnant with their son. And Your Honor, what was telling about this picture and all of the time that I've spent with the Dontells and getting to know them and getting to know their family is that, Your Honor, you can see in his eyes in that first picture, it's very his eyes are a little bit clear, a lot different. That was right before this involvement with Miss Jackson occurred. Your Honor, all of the pictures that I have sent to you included what is really the essence of Chris, and that is being a father to his children. And the picture that after the birth of their children was another picture of Erica and Chris. And Your Honor, the difference between what you can see in Chris's eyes before he got involved with Meagan Jackson and after, I think is telling. Your Honor, clearly he has made some mistakes, and in the—
Are we seriously getting into what his eyes look like, Amy, on this defense argument? Because no matter what is in his eyes or not in his eyes, it's his actions that we're concerned about. Yes, we are all human. We all make mistakes. But making the choice to help someone cover up a homicide? Carry on.
42 years that he has been on this earth, I can assure you he has, this is the biggest of the mistakes. And Your Honor, he, just so I don't forget, 1,588 days are the total amount that he has been incarcerated.
1 second on that. Does the state have any objection to that number? Is that what y'all believe is the number?
Your Honor, I have not had a chance to calculate it. I typically believe that the Department of Corrections will verify anything.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And I told them ahead of time because there was a period that he was out and.
Exactly, Chico. His eyes look just as soulless as hers. I mean, she can talk about his eyes all day. We see it for what it is. I mean, just because he met Meagan Jackson and then she's saying that his eyes changed, well, that's on him. Because that's something within him. I mean, who are you trying to convince right now? This was not a mistake. He made a decision. He made a decision. And the fact that that's why I think Chris pointing out that his wife's, this is just, I don't know, this gets me. Yeah, that his wife stood by him and all of this, the impact statement. I think we may have to listen to that, Chris, for real.
And so we had to go back and calculate those days. Your Honor, he, as you obviously am aware, he was arrested in November 19th of 2020. And that's how long this case has been going on. When I read those letters and listening to Miss Savannah Rice, Your Honor, the underlying theme, of course, besides the tragic loss of Mr. Greg Rice, was the frustration of not knowing. And in fact, when Mr. Dontell did accept his responsibility for his part in this, we received a separate email from the family just thanking us for being able to close that door and move forward. And the frustration that I get from the family, and I completely understand in that length of time, goes back to Mr. Dontell being afraid, and rightfully so, of Meagan Jackson, but not only for himself, for his family as well. Your Honor, I think it goes without saying, obviously, he had no criminal record prior to this, had never been involved in any problems before. And as you, I know that your law clerk was thorough and did sit through his testimony to hear what exactly he did. And even when they tried to impeach him with a little bit of the change from the plea transcript, it was because, Your Honor, after the plea, he was able to sit down and finally, after being told his family would be given protection, he was finally be able to fill in those extra things that he needed to fill in to really bring this together. And Your Honor, obviously, being familiar with the case and the trial, I won't belabor the point, and you certainly read it in the letters, but the impact that Meagan had on their lives, as in coming in, really connecting herself to the family and making it so intertwined with her life, Your Honor, is a reason that fear was legitimate. I can tell you that I am asking for probation, and I'll tell you why.
Let me just, sorry, I had to let the dog out. Let me just say this, Amy, before you get started about Treeland says, you know what the difference is between narcissism and psychopathy? Nothing. I'm telling you what. I was coming back in the door when I just heard her say that, well, he just should get probation. Are you kidding me right now? I have to laugh to keep from cussing right now because no. These people just, God, they have balls. For real. And the fact that she also said that he finally got his chance at the plea to be able to tell his pieces to tie it together. He could have said all that from jump. He could have came in with the facts from the jump. Because a person of integrity, first of all, wouldn't have been involved in this. He'd have been like, I'm not doing it. You're not going to involve me in this. And he would have went to the cops and told them. But he didn't. And then he did what he did. And then when it came time and they arrested him, he could have told them then. He could have filled in the blanks at that time. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that he had ample opportunity to tie it all together and put all the pieces and lay it out for them from jump, or do you think that it was wise to wait until he had to make a plea and then come in and tie it all together? If you think the latter, then you can put a 2. But if you think he should have just came in straight out and just went to it from the jump, put a 1. Hey, Red Sky, thank you. Thank you for putting a 1. Chico's got several 1s. Sunday got a 1. Fuzzy Puff said because he was scared and the plea offered him protection. Fuzzy Puff, you know what? If he was so scared, he shouldn't have been involved in nefarious actions to begin with, and he knew better. I mean, he ain't 20 years old. I mean, this is a grown man with kids. We got Chatty, Laughing Heart coming in with 1s. Chris, 1. Red Sky, 1. Dragon. Yeah. Well, it's all on Court TV, Treeland, if you want to watch all of the trial. I wish I could have played the trial when it was happening. I mean, it's quite involved, but once you hear it, it will be very simple for you to know. This man was the deputy coroner and was having an affair. He was married with kids. She was involved in a relationship and had 4 kids with a man who was married to somebody else. I can't even make none of this make sense. It's deep breaths. He wasn't scared when he was in the middle of it, was he? Why he scared now? That law don't go around here. He was being sarcastic and parroting what his defense attorney said. Listen, she makes me mad. She irritates me for real. All right, let's get back into it.
Things that I do when I come to a sentencing is, especially in the different counties, I try to look at other other sentences that have been laid down in situations such as this. Your Honor, most recently I came across the case of Steve Morgan, who had just done 33 months of pretrial as opposed to the 4 years, 4 months and 1 week that Mr. Dontell has been doing. But he was sentenced to a time served with no probation in a case that was a murder case. He was a co-defendant. The body was dumped in the field.
Steve Morgan case. I don't know if anybody knows about the Steve Morgan case. That was a crazy case. I think that was the guy that was sentenced in Goose Creek. I don't know of any other Stephen Morgan cases in our state. But that was Berkeley County. Chris, are you familiar with that case in Monk's Corner? He got 45 years in prison. He was found guilty of attempted murder, criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, kidnapping, burglary in the first degree, and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. And yeah, he got 30 years for each of the first 3 offenses and ran those sentences concurrent with a 40-year sentence for the burglary in first degree, and was given another consecutive 5 years for possession of a weapon for the total of the 45 years. Yeah, he broke into the victim's home and brutally beat and sexually assaulted her. Yeah, that was a horrific crime. And then he fled to Georgia, but they recovered his DNA at the crime scene. That's the only Steve Morgan case I'm aware of. Sounds like he just needs to have some time to think long and hard about it. Night Twist, thank you for being here. I hope you have a good night, darling.
Testified against the co-defendant. It was State v. Land in August of 22. That person received a time served with no probation. Your Honor, we're asking that the court consider a probationary sentence based on a lot of the arguments that we have been making this whole time, but also when you go back and you look at the trial, the substance of getting the conviction of the person that took the gun, took that 22 and shot it in the locations of Mr. Rice's body that she shot them, it was clear that Meagan Jackson had done this, Your Honor, and Mr. Dontell has been in so deep. Your Honor, he has always been employed. He came here from Missouri with his family. He's always, Maryland. And he's always had a job. He's always tried to make the right decisions. Like I said, coming into a situation like this, Your Honor, has really changed not only his perspective, but the choices that he was making. While in prison, or while in jail, he was diagnosed with being with having a depressive disorder, Your Honor. But one of the things that was very frustrating in the multiple pretrial bond hearings and things that we had is that people kept saying that the state kept insinuating that he was suicidal.
Stop it. Now we're going to use that he has a depressive disorder? I'm sorry. I know lots of people that struggle with different things in their lives. And none of those people have committed these crimes. Chico said, I'd be depressed too if I got caught and had to serve time. Exactly. I can't even believe Fuzzy Puff. Help, help, help. I'm waving red flags over here behind this camera. I mean, I feel like it's so much deeper than depression disorder, okay? I mean, a lot of people suffer with that, and this is what we're going with. This is his reason that he needs to get probation. I'm done.
Suicidal. I've gone through all of Mr. Dontell's records. He has been diagnosed with a major depressive disorder, which I think is how we kind of, another reason we ended up making these he made these terrible, terrible decisions. But, Your Honor, there was never a history.
Again, with excuses. Red Sky, I wish I was over on my StreamYard so I could highlight your comment. I would be depressed if she was my attorney. 1,000%, because she is doing a terrible job. He needs to kick her in the shin underneath the table. Because this is a mess. I mean, I have PTSD from almost drowning in the ocean. Yeah, I've had depression. I've had all of that. You don't see me out here hurting people. Okay, yeah, I did punch somebody, but that's because they tried to hit me first. And then I just, listen, if you lay hands on me, I am going to respond. But I'm not going to go out here and just get involved in mess like this. Laughing Heart says, so people with depression should get a pass. Okay. This beats all I've ever seen, y'all. Only in my county have I... I know my state is not the only place in the United States that has this insanity happening in the court right now. This is crazy. I'd have done fired her because she is doing a horrible job right now. Chatty coming in. I was thinking the same thing, but sat on my hands. She seems scattered or something. It's because she knows she ain't got a leg to stand on. She's reaching. This is a sign of desperation, because clearly he told him that he was guilty. And he shouldn't have even had to take a plea, because he should have just been man enough to say, yeah, I effed up and I got myself involved with this crazy woman, and now I've lost my job and my family, and I made terrible decisions, and now I got to pay the price. Tree Lynn, I have no idea. Horry County is very corrupt, Chris. We know that. I live here. I'm a tax-paying citizen. Sometimes I just, oh my God, it's embarrassing, really. Oh my God. Okay, let's get back into it.
Of any suicidal ideations. Another frustrating fact that Mr. Dontell kept encountering when he was attempting to get out on bond, like his co-defendant, was even though he violated that when they were first out together, the fact that she continued to remain out was incredibly frustrating to him. And every time we would come to a bond hearing, Your Honor, there would be issues such as the state received notice that he was trying to put a hit out on somebody. Your Honor, the state thoroughly investigated all of that. None of that came to fruition. I firmly believe, Your Honor, that the state was being provided information by his co-defendant to specifically keep him in there. She took that opportunity to drive by Mr. Dontell's house with his wife and kids to continue that fear and those threats to him, and that's exactly how he took them. But, Your Honor, he has spent all of that time trying to work on himself. He has a strong support system, Your Honor, and I believe that Mr. Dontell himself has written a and it's probably just easier for him to read because he's nervous. So I know he wants to address the court, but also his wife would like to address the court. Obviously, we've kept that number of persons down to a minimum, but we would ask that the court, then that's why we submitted all those letters, but we would ask that the court, do you hear from Erica Dontell at this time?
Your Honor, when Your Honor believes it's appropriate, I do need to correct a mischaracterization.
Okay.
Make sure you
Good morning, Ms. Dontell.
I'm ready.
If you just state your name just for the record.
Erica Dontell.
All right, thank you.
Okay, here we go. Everybody get your seat belts buckled up, your tinfoil hats. Make sure you're ready for this.
Happy to hear from you.
Thank you. My name is Erica Dontell. I'm Christopher Dontell's wife. On June 12, 2025, Chris and I spent our 10th wedding anniversary testifying against his co-defendant, Meagan Jackson. For nearly 5 years, I've made the choice each and every day to stay married to Chris. Despite the murder charge, affair, selling, though it felt more like losing my dream home, severe depression and anxiety, financial hardship, and all while solo parenting and homeschooling our 2 kids in hopes of getting them the most normal life possible, I've stayed, and I would like you to understand why. The Chris that has been presented to you in this courtroom over the last few years is not the man I chose to marry and build a life with. While Chris and I have been married for 10 years, we've been together for nearly 15, just about half of my life. While Chris and I, the totality of the horrible and unimaginable events that have gotten us here today only took a matter of months.
I'm going to have to stop it right there. Because did you notice the way that Chris Dontell's whole demeanor changed when she walked up to the stand? Put a 1 in the chat. Did anybody else see that?
Over the last few years, it's not
court, but also his wife would like to.
Hang on, I just want to see if I can. Look at that face right there. He's like, finally, she's going to come up and say her part, and it's going to increase my chances that I'm going to get probation. Yes, Chris. Puffed his chest out like he's the man. Like, see, listen to what she's got to say. And I'm thinking to myself, this poor woman is having to get up here. She has stayed with this man, tried to normalize life, losing her dream home. Listen to the things that she's saying. She literally looks like she's about to break down, and he's over there looking all stoic, smiling, like he wants her to look over there at him. Chico, I wish I could sit on my hands, but this is my live stream, so I'm just going to say it like it is. I am not true crime. I'm going to give you all the opinions. Normally, I keep my opinions to myself, but same old Dutchie, I'm going to just give it to you straight, no chaser. This is wild right here. When I saw this the first time, I was like, let me replay this section. And sure enough, soon as she walked up, he sat up straight, his whole... Fuzzy Puff said he's as smug as a bed bug. I'm telling you. He is. I mean, narcissist. He really thinks he's going to get off. This poor woman. She could do so much better than him. She's better than that. It's just that she probably needs to get the help that she deserves. And for a therapist or somebody to let her know that creating boundaries and that her not having to accept the failures and shortcomings of her spouse that made these decisions, it's not on her to bear that weight. Because she deserves better than that. That's what I see. And this is just my Dutchy thoughts. This is just, nobody in the chat has to agree with me. Y'all are entitled to have your opinions. This is just the way that I see it. I know what it's like to be in a relationship where there's abuse. Before I met my husband, I was in a relationship that was abusive. He was a narcissist. And let me tell you, my therapist, I got that man on speed dial. He's been my therapist since 2000. And he taught me that my self-worth was so much better. And that boundaries are important. And that it's okay to cut ties with people who are toxic. And that even if I'm there I can't love the crazy out of somebody. I can't change a man. They are who they're going to be. No matter how I beg, plead, no matter what I do, they're still going to be a shit person. Tell me I'm wrong. Because I have been in those shoes. And when I see this guy looking at her right now and she's about to have a breakdown, it pisses me off. Treelyn T says, emotional terrorism is the worst type of abuse. I don't think I'll ever be the same. Same here. But I'm so lucky, y'all, that almost 15 years ago, I met my husband. Even though I said for like 6 months that we weren't dating. Because I didn't want to get in a relationship, y'all. Because that shit like to broke me. But I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful husband. He has never mistreated me. There are still good people out there, but you don't have to accept the toxicity. And if you are in a relationship that is like this and you need somebody to talk to, reach out to me. Reach out to your friends. There are people that are there to give you support. Because nobody deserves to be treated like a doormat. That's right. Narcissists can't change. You know, I thought for a while that it was me. I blamed myself, Treelyn T. But I realized that it wasn't me at all. It was them. And that I deserve better. I do have a good egg, Elizabeth. He's the best. He's my soulmate. I wish I would have met him sooner so I could love him longer. But Fuzzy Puff, prison might be the greatest gift she ever receives because distance to heal and fly above. I agree with that. I agree. Emotional abuse is no joke, guys. And just know if you've been through something like I have, and listen, no two situations are ever the same. Just know that I see you. I hear you, and that your story matters, and that you are not a victim. You are a survivor. And you have a safe place here with us. That's why I don't allow people to come in the chat and turn up and act like fools, because I won't tolerate it, because especially now that I'm older, I'm over 50. Now, I will just tell you all about yourself and take you to church. So, I just wanted to say that because I thought this was such a telling point in this sentencing right here. How this whole scene changed. And I just wanted to see if you guys picked up on it.
Against his co-defendant, Meagan Jackson. For nearly 5 years, I've made the choice each and every day to stay married to Chris. Despite the murder charge, affair, selling, though it felt more like losing my dream home, severe depression and anxiety, financial hardship, and all while solo parenting and homeschooling our 2 kids in hopes of getting them the most normal life possible. I've stayed, and I would like you to understand why. The Chris that has been presented to you in this courtroom over the last few years is not the man I chose to marry and build a life with. While Chris and I have been married for 10 years, we've been together for nearly 15, just about half of my life. While Chris and I, the totality of the horrible and unimaginable events that have gotten us here today only took a matter of months. Chris was not simply caught up in a workplace affair, but instead, Meagan Jackson infiltrated all areas of our lives and became the literal antichrist to our family. Within 8 short months, Meagan Jackson moved into our neighborhood and set her plan in motion with 2 goals in mind.
Oh, she made him cry right there. Did you just see that? I'm going to take that back. Hey, Ava Hawkshaw. It's good to see you, darling. You want a meef for lunch? If you know, you know. She broke him right there, y'all. I'm going to have to take that back. Y'all watch this turn of events and listen to what she says, and then he starts to cry. Yeah, we're going to meef. We're going to meef for lunch. If you know, you know. I hate autocorrect.
Dontell.
All right, thank you. Happy to hear from you.
Thank you.
All right, I went back too far. Hang on.
Which she succeeded at. From day one of knowing Meagan, she had perfectly curated a narrative to gain. The Chris that has been presented to you in this courtroom over the last few years is not the man I chose to marry and build a life with. While Chris and I have been married for 10 years, we've been together for nearly 15, just about half of my life. While Chris and I, the totality of the horrible and unimaginable events that have gotten us here today only took a matter of months. Chris was not simply caught up in a workplace affair, but instead, Meagan Jackson infiltrated all areas of our lives and became the literal antichrist to our family.
The antichrist to our family. Wow. That is pretty intense. And that's when he breaks down, as he should. He should feel like a POS right now.
Within 8 short months, Meagan Jackson moved into our neighborhood and set her plan in motion with 2 goals in mind. End Chris and mine's marriage and rid herself of Greg Rice, only one of which she succeeded at. From day one of knowing...
Oh, there, he's feeling it now because, listen, you should have thought this through. You can't blame COVID-19. You can't blame your depression. You got on that ship and sailed it, buddy. The truth hurts.
Meagan, she had perfectly curated a narrative to gain compassion from both Chris and myself. At the time, it was our understanding that Greg Rice was an abusive, drug-addicted pervert, and Meagan sold that story to us every chance she got. Chris nor I had never met Greg, and from her stories, we felt we never wanted to. I believe everything she told us was a tactical move to allow her plan to move forward without a hitch. Meagan sold both Chris and I on the idea that we were all friends, and she was willing to and ready to solve all of our problems. She used the economic crash caused by COVID to shower us with expensive gifts, food, and promises of my dream come true, a summer camp for kids here in the county. Life was going to be perfect, and she was going to be to thank for it, until it wasn't. Through her manipulation and a full stock of pricey alcohol, Meagan used some challenges in our marriage that I had confided in her to present Chris with an escape from reality of the stresses of home and work. I'm not making excuses for Chris's behavior, but I feel the backstory is important to understand how.
I wonder what he's thinking right there. Them eyes rocking back and forth. You playing that through your mind, Chris? Remembering all the financial and emotional manipulation that Meagan put you through? Dragon says, I was in a bad relationship for 12 years, never married. Sometimes we stay because, well, I really don't have the answers. It's different for everybody. Elizabeth understands too.
We got here. Chris made choices that he's expressed to me that he deeply regrets and has been paying for ever since. I will not overlook his role and the damage his decisions have caused. But it's with every fiber of my being that I say, if COVID shutdowns had never happened, Chris would not be involved in this case at all.
Ma'am. Here we go. She literally just said that if the shutdown hadn't happened, then this would have never happened. Can you make it make sense? Yeah, self-reflection is difficult, Red Sky, isn't it? Fuzzy Puff says his hubris and what's between his legs, that got the better of him. If that sounded really sassy, I apologize. No, Fuzzy Puff, that's exactly what happened. And that is exactly what it is. Hey, that's so Crystal. I hope you're doing good. Don't worry. We missed you earlier when I made biscuits. I hope you were going to be able to go back and watch that. They turned out delicious. No, she isn't thinking right now. She thinks that she can make this all better. Everything's going to be okay. And my heart goes out to her because I can't imagine the pain and what she has been going through the last 5 years. Yeah, so not only is the depression to blame, but now the vid is to blame too, Laughing Heart. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're saying. It's okay, Crystal. I know. And I just want you to know that I love you, sis, and I'm here. You know that I'm here if you ever need anything at all. I appreciate you joining us. All right, let's jump back into it.
I do, however, believe Meagan still would have found a way to do what she did to Greg. In January 2011, Chris and I had reconnected when we lived in Maryland, and we clicked instantly. He was hardworking, shared my love of baseball, and had the same overall goals and aspirations for life as I did, including our future plans of moving to Myrtle Beach. We often spent our time on the ball field playing trivia or sitting at the swing at the North Myrtle Beach Airport watching banner planes take off and land. Until November 2021, Chris and I...
Yeah, he remembers that too. And that North Myrtle Beach Airport, that's like less than 7 minutes from my house. You did, Crystal? You'll have to tell me about it. Hope everything's okay.
I've never been apart for more than a week and a half when we had to go away for training in 2015. We spent just about every single day for 10 years together. I know who Chris is. Chris is kind, helpful, caring, passionate, and enjoys pizza and karaoke. And though his songs may be questionable, but not always family friendly, but above all, Chris loves our kids more than life itself and would give anything to be reunited with them. Over the years, I've been on many death calls with Chris, one of which was one of our first dates. Chris has always had such a gift for making people's worst moments a little easier. We often got letters or ran into family members from death calls that he worked, and every single one would go on about how compassionate and caring he was and about the difference he made in their lives at that time. Based on what I witnessed firsthand for 10 years, it's my belief that Chris felt he had no choice but to be involved how he was in this case. Meagan threatened him, and she was dangerous enough that Chris's previous attorney advised him to continue communication with Meagan out of fear of what she might do if she found out he was turning on her. This was confirmed by the said attorney over dinner with me, and we later sought new counsel. I find myself wishing every day that this was one big nightmare. But unfortunately, it's reality. Chris is not the only one that has been punished for over the last 4 years. We've lost family members that never got a last hug or a goodbye from Chris. We've welcomed new family members by marriage and birth into the family that have never met him. And I underwent the entire process of selling our old home and buying a new one because I no longer felt safe with the co-defendant living street away. But most importantly, our kids have suffered. Very quickly, they lost close friends they had in Meagan's kids, their dad, their home, their neighborhood friends, and the normalcy we had prior to October of 2020. Chris is an amazing father despite the poor choices he made over the few months when he was under the control of Meagan. Our children were 5 and 2 when Chris's bond was revoked. Chris missed potty training our son, the loss of first teeth for both of our kids, daddy and daughter dances, and simply just everyday moments that others take for granted. My heart breaks for the Rice kids. Heart breaks for the Rice kids who have missed out and will continue to miss those things with their own dad. I would give anything to go back in time knowing what I know now, but unfortunately that can't happen. We were all under Meagan's spell of her false narrative and promises. I will continue to pray for the Rice kids every day and love them and hope they are forever surrounded by the love that they always deserved but did not receive from their own mom. During his incarceration, Chris has attended church services, Christian counseling sessions, which we will continue together when we are able to. And he's helped to keep things as normal as possible for our kids by playing games like rock, paper, scissors and practicing their math facts and spelling words, and even attending sporting events through the video visits.
She actually sounds like a good person and a good mom. And I know that she loves him. It's obvious. I just... What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive.
I respectfully ask you to please consider Chris as the man he is as a whole and not just the actions within such a small period of time when he felt there was no way out. We have lost so much already, and it is my hope that you would consider the time Chris and our entire family have already served and allow him to come home to our family.
Thank you, Ms. Dontell. All right, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I believe the defendant would like to address the law personally. And he wrote it, Your Honor, just because he wanted to keep his thoughts straight.
I thought about the Rice family, hurt for them. I wished I could speak with them every day for going on 5 years. I'm so sorry that they had to learn the details of Greg's death in such a public way at Meagan's trial, and that I was the bearer of some of those details. Greg Rice's and Meagan Jackson's 4 kids have become an extension of my family. And knowing how badly, I'm sorry. Knowing how badly they were hurt and that I played a role in causing any pain at all to them is something I'm going to struggle with for the rest of my life. To simply keep saying I'm sorry, it just doesn't feel right. And I don't know that I can effectively articulate the depth of the combination of love, pain, regret, and compassion I feel for those kids and for everyone who loved Greg. I'm sorry for having any involvement with Meagan. Virtually everything about her is the exact opposite of everything I've ever been and stood for. As embarrassing as it is to admit, I chose to overlook everything bad about her because she was spending thousands of dollars a month on my family, and because she had convinced me that she was basically going to make all mine and my family's dreams come true.
Where did she get all this money? I got questions.
In retrospect, it's clear that my involvement with her was founded on deception and selfishness. This led to a snowball of poor decisions.
Hey, Carl. Thanks for being here. How you doing?
On my part, infidelity, and to Meagan having a grip on every aspect of my life. If not for these poor decisions on my part, I know that I would not have been with her on the night of October 2nd, would not have been in the position to be an accessory after the fact, and would not have had any part in causing any suffering to anyone. I heard Meagan say things like, I'm going to kill Greg, and I'm going to kill my kids. More than once, she told me she was going to kill me. She said these kinds of things nonchalantly.
Okay, so I just have to say this. If somebody threatens me, well, I'm not just going to continue to play these games. Or if I know that somebody is telling me that they're going to take the life of their spouse or their boyfriend or their child's father, and I'm in a position of power as the deputy coroner, I'm probably going to report that, because obviously the signs were there that something was going on with her. Yeah, and Laughing Heart says, that's my question too. What dream was she going to make come true? Where's she getting this thousands of dollars? And this is... I just can't even. That's so Crystal said, did she have the hoisms? I'm late if that's disrespectful. I'm sorry. I need to catch up. Crystal, it's not, because I'm not true crime. Okay. We talk about whatever it is that needs to be said. Meagan not only had the hoisms, and well, Chris had the hoisms too, obviously, because he was having an affair on his wife with this woman, because he said, and his wife said, that she was showering them with thousands of dollars a month, and she was going to make their family's dreams come true. What exactly does that look like? I'm sorry, but some woman that just moves in down the street and says she's going to spend all this money on me and my husband, bitch, get out. No, we don't need your money. Goodbye. I can't even make that make sense. And you're the deputy coroner. You're not poor. None of this math is not mathing for me. No. I just felt like I needed to say that, because how does this all calculate to she's telling him that she is going to take the life of her children's father, and she also threatened to take his life, and he didn't tell anybody that. Why? That's who Crystal said. Another woman best not buy my husband an ice cream without my approval. Don't let me find out about it, because if the Duke tells me about it, somebody getting a 411 from me. Carl said, I wished I lived in South Carolina rather than Indiana. That needs to be said. Listen, South Carolina is a nice place to live, but in my county, Carl, we just can't, people cannot get their act together, even in law enforcement and people working in this county. It's just craziness down here. It's always something going on. But it is a nice place to live, and we got low taxes, but we're full. I tell people that all the time. They're like, I was thinking about moving there. And I said, we're full. But if you want to come on down, Carl, just come on down. Laughing Heart and Chris is already here, so just come on down. Fuzzy Puff said, don't try to reverse Pretty Woman, my husband. Exactamundo. All right, let's continue.
And I never took them as a serious threat. I chose to overlook these things and all the other red flags that were waving in my face because of the attributes I thought were good about her, which I now see were only those which served me in some way. I realized that my involvement with Meagan, and thereby this case, has caused some variation of hardship to many, including my business partners, employees, colleagues, neighbors, my friends, my family, and especially the loved ones of Greg Rice. During the years I've spent in jail, I have, with the help of counselors, taken accountability and begun the process of repairing the damage. As for the Rice family, I just want them to know that if there's anything I can do to help them gain closure, I'll do whatever I can do for them, whether that's now or years from now. My heart will always be with them.
Your Honor, just briefly in closing, I just wanted to address a few more things. One, the letters, and I know that they're not understanding of the law, but with the Rice letters that I just reviewed, and they said that he was permitted to plead to a lesser charge, Your Honor, Mr. Dontell certainly did plead to what he was guilty of. That's something that we had actually been offering to plead to for a while. The negotiations, we couldn't come to an agreement on the negotiations at the time, Your Honor, but we were negotiating with them prior to anybody going to trial. Your Honor, as we presented this case this morning for Mr. Dontell, who accepted the responsibility and the accountability of accessory after the fact, which he was.
Bless her heart. I mean, she's shaking like a leaf. That breaks my heart.
Clearly guilty of and making poor choices. It's important to present those circumstances that led to his involvement and the meaningful steps that he's taken since then to right his wrongs. And that's what I think that we've been trying to do today, is to give you a snapshot of who Chris was, what he was, when he was finally able to get that sense of protection for his family and come clean. At the time of the offense, he was clearly deeply influenced and manipulated by Meagan Jackson, who he trusted, and she took advantage of his loyalty, his immaturity, his use of alcohol to make poor choices. Your Honor, he did not stand up when he should have for all of the children involved, and he knows that. And this weakness has made him live with this regrettable decision. Your Honor, every time I look at this case, I think of all of the things that could have been done if he were a criminal master, even if he wasn't a criminal mastermind, Your Honor, the things that could have been done that would have made this case, for example, using the crematorium, that would have made this case almost impossible to solve. But he was finally able, with risk to his family's safety, his continued reputation, and he finally, in December of this past year, cooperated fully with law enforcement and the prosecution. His testimony was crucial in ensuring that justice was served, especially against Meagan, who was primarily responsible. And the cooperation came at a personal cost. He is continuing to accept the accountability and help correct the wrongs he once enabled. He has shown sincere remorse, in turning his life around. He's engaged in counseling, as you've heard. One of the things that, if you recall, a group of pretrial motions about a year and a half ago, I was demanding to have all of his jail costs, because oftentimes people say things when they don't think the jails are listening. Your Honor, myself and my entire staff spent, I think, 2 weeks listening to almost 4 years worth of jail phone calls. And I can tell you that 80% of those were him talking with his children and still being a father. And I know that that is a luxury that he has that the Rices don't have. And
him making all these grimacing faces, when I just saw the judge, I have to agree with you, Fuzzy Puff. The judge is like, I'm done with this. This man was a deputy coroner for our county, and he effed up. No worries, Chris. Yeah, the judge is just like, hurry up. Let's get on to it.
He knows that too. And he's still living with that, and he's still combating with that. And he knows that he can't make that right, can't change it, but he can try to make it right from here on out, in his desire to accept that accountability. Your Honor, we understand that this offense was serious, but I think it's important for the court to understand that he was not an architect of this crime. He was someone who made several misguided choices in a terrible situation. He's demonstrated growth, cooperation, a willingness to accept responsibility, and qualities that suggest rehabilitation that he's already started. Your Honor, we are certainly not, we are not just the worst thing we've ever done in life, but we are asking the court to consider a serious sentence over his head that would be suspended to an intensive 5-year period of probation, in a way, because if he violated that probation, then he would have to go back and do all of that time based on the new law, if he were to receive that. So we ask the court to take all of the letters of support, all of what we presented into consideration when making the determination. Justice can be served along with mercy. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, Ms. Zimmercheck mentioned a case in her argument, Stephen Morgan, where the defendant was given time served. That actually happens to have been my case, and the two cases are diametrically opposed to each other. Mr. Morgan was not present during the murder, did not help dispose of the victim's body in that case, came forward immediately when questioned by police, and cooperated throughout the entire way. He also pleaded guilty only to accessory after the fact, and did not, as Dontell has done, plead guilty to criminal conspiracy to commit murder. So I just want to make sure that it's clear that that is not an appropriate comparison with the case in front of Your Honor.
Yes.
Ms. Walter, let me ask you this. It got brought up in the defense's presentation about bond. Am I correct that he was given a bond at one point but violated it?
Yes, Your Honor. Both defendants were given bonds. They both violated it by having continued contact with each other. They were both violated. And then Ms. Jackson
and she was actually given multiple chances after violating her bond on home probation, and he had to stay in, and he was simply someone who helped as an accessory after the fact, and he could not get another bond and had to stay in, yet she was able to get out and then continue to ride by his wife and kids' house. Make that make sense. What in the hell is going on here in South Carolina? In no way, shape, or form do I think that anybody that has been accused of such crimes, do they deserve 2 and 3 chances and should be on home probation, and then they violate their bond over and over, and then she gets to stay out? She's the one who committed the crime, and he has the accessory after fact, but he only gets 1 chance, and he couldn't get another chance at bond. Can you make sense of that? Is it just me, y'all? Laughing Heart said, do you think if he wasn't deputy coroner, he would have gotten a lighter sentence? Well, I mean, it's hard to say, Laughing Heart. He didn't even actually commit the crime, and I feel like Meagan Jackson got treated better than he did, being able to get subsequent bonds after being revoked. The fact that they gave her a chance, I cannot. They both should have had to stay in jail. After they messed up the first time, neither one of them should have been allowed to be at home. They both should have had to stay.
I believe there was one other bond hearing for Mr. Dontell, and that was denied. But he has been in since that first violation.
And I'm also correct that.
See, he's been in since the first violation, but she got out. Can you make that make sense to me? Because I cannot make that make sense. And remember, she lived right down the street from Dontell's wife and kids and was riding by their house constantly. That's right, Fuzzy Puff. Bond should have been revoked for both of them. The system is messy. That's how I feel about it. Sunday said if he felt threatened, he sure didn't act like it on bail. Yeah, because why are you still in contact? Yeah, I know, Crystal. It just don't make any sense to me.
There were initially talked to law enforcement, and then there was a proffer.
Yes, Your Honor, there was a proffer, and Mr. Dontell violated the terms of that proffer, so that proffer never went forward.
Okay. Ms. Zimmercheck, anything else from this text?
Nothing further. Just a very brief follow-up, Your Honor. Yes, he had 3 detention hearings after that. They were all denied. Just the end result was the same. And Your Honor, he did the proffer and the testimony was all done prior to my involvement in the case, Your Honor. Obviously, when we were able to secure that protection for his family with the bond conditions and zones against his family and her and the children, Your Honor, he did sit down and I think fully cooperate with them and testified to those exact same details at the trial.
Well,
thank you.
Okay. Mr. Dontell, your attorney has done a good presentation and quite frankly, I believe has done a remarkable job to get you where you are today. She's correct that my law clerk did go in and view your testimony in Meagan Jackson's trial, but I also went back and viewed your testimony as well. Your testimony did differ in what you admitted to when you pled guilty to the charges you're here for today. My concern is simply this. I understand that you're remorseful. You're here today to take ownership over what you've done. However, by my math, it took about 1,500 days for that to happen. You said in your testimony in Ms. Jackson's trial that you were scared of Ms. Jackson. I don't know what you were scared of once she got incarcerated, though. She absolutely couldn't hurt your family when she was incarcerated. And you still decided that you wanted to withhold the truth. And then you testified or proffered again with the state and again gave them different information. The truth of the matter in this, according to your own testimony, is that you were present when Mr. Greg Rice was gunned down and that you helped dispose of that body. You, a person who disposes of bodies, as your job. And yet it took you 1,500 days before you gave this family some solace in knowing what happened to their dad.
Preach.
I saw in your testimony where you hoped that your testimony would give you a lesser sentence. And I'll tell you that based on your testimony, the fact that you pled to an accessory and a co-conspirator is your lesser sentence. You very easily could be right where Ms. Jackson is doing life in prison. I will give you the credit for the time that you have served. You're entitled to that by statute. But as to the accessory after the fact, it's the sentence of this court that you be committed to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years. And as for the conspiracy, it's the sentence of this court that you be sentenced to the maximum again of 5 years, and those are to run consecutive. Mr. Dontell, I understand that you're here and want to give the closure to the Rice family, and I hope that this does that. And I hope that ultimately, when you get out, that you will remember what you've done to your own family and what you've done to the Rice family. But that's the sentence of this court. Thank you. Ms. Walker, do you have anything else?
No, just your regular trial roster.
All right, thank you. We'll be at ease.
Wow. Well, there you go. You got the maximum on both, so we got 20 years. As he should. And I hope, yeah, his remorse changed real quick right then. And I mean, maybe he is really sorry. And he did say that he... Hey, babe. Hang on, y'all. Okay. You're welcome, Elizabeth. Thanks for covering my special. I know my county is so special, isn't it? He'll serve 20 years. So, I mean, he showed a lot more remorse, and he did speak out and address the family, which is a lot more than Meagan Jackson did. And like the judge said, it took him 1,500 days to say anything. Why did he still not speak out after she was incarcerated? What did his family have to fear once she was incarcerated? But he still didn't come forward. He still didn't come forward. Crystal says, my sister reads lips better than anyone. If she says he said that to his lawyer, he did. Which said, he said, I told you. Yeah, well, I mean, he should have known that was coming. Yeah, and I know April can read lips, so I have no doubt about it. So, yeah, he did a lot more than Meagan Jackson. She didn't want to say anything. Can you imagine having your kids in the courtroom and you don't want to just take accountability for what you did? Yeah, I did. Well, listen, Miss Brittany came in at the time that I was talking, and I happened to look over at the chat, and I saw Miss Brittany at the same time I was saying Meagan Jackson, and yeah, that was that was crazy. Almost made you fall down, Elizabeth. Lord help me. So Chris Dontell did get sentenced 20 years, and that is for criminal conspiracy to commit murder and accessory after the fact. And again, this all occurred in 2020 and for the death of Gregory Rice. And the judge did give Chris, if you guys are just coming in, the judge did give Chris Dontell credit for his time served, and that will bring his sentence down to 16 years. So that is what he will have to serve. They lived out at the Arrowhead community. That's kind of in the Myrtle Beach community going out towards Conway. And Meagan Jackson actually shot Gregory Rice at least 5 times near his home in that community in October of 2020. And Rice was the father of Jackson's 4 children. And it took Chris Dontell more than 1,500 days before he decided to tell everyone that he admitted to helping Jackson cover up the murder, along with his lawyers working out a plea deal that allowed him to no longer stand trial for murder. That shit should have never happened. And no, he was not directly involved, although the fact is that she had told him prior that this was her intention. And he had every opportunity that he could have said something, did something, told somebody about it, and he didn't. And that is a problem for me. Carl, most of the court does allow it to run consecutively and give credit for time served, yes. So, and the fact that the defense was saying that, you know, Chris had this different look in his eyes before and after his involvement with her, you can't put all the blame on her. Like, he's a grown man. He could have made the decision to get involved with her or not. And it was his decision. And whether he had a criminal record or not, and whether he had a fear of, if he had a fear, he should have went to somebody. He should have said something. But he didn't. I mean, Meagan Jackson apparently came in, showered him with expensive gifts, making him believe they were friends. We heard the court say that through manipulation and alcohol, she used issues that Chris Dontell's wife told her in confidence about in their marriage. And Meagan used that information to manipulate Chris. And I'm sure that Erica, Chris's wife, blames herself for that. But it all falls on these two, Meagan and Chris. Exactly. A grown man that dealt with death every day, that dog don't hunt. Yeah. Laughing Heart says, do you think Meagan targeted him because of his job? They didn't know each other long. Well, could be, because she knew that he could help her dispose of the body, because that's what he did for a living. He's the coroner. It's clear that it's a relationship based on deception. And she obviously told lies about Gregory Rice to manipulate them into thinking that he was not a good person. And those kids have to live with that. And it's a very, very sad case. It's been 5 years. And they deserve to get some type of closure. But they'll never have complete closure because their father isn't here. His life was taken away. Crystal said, oh, Lordy, when I've said Erica in chat, I wasn't speaking about his wife, just clarifying. Okay. Yeah, if Nightbot beats you, you got to step up, Elizabeth. Carl says, I personally know of a judge in my area that says boys don't become men until the age of 40, but about 20 years ago, that number was 25. Well, women do mature faster than men. And a lot of times in men, scientifically, I mean, your brains don't really fully develop until you're in your mid-20s. But women do mature faster than men. Some men just, they don't change, unfortunately. I just hope that Chris Dontell has learned his lesson the hard way. You lay down with dogs, you get fleas. And that's exactly what happened. You can cry, you can plead, you can tell people you're depressed, you can blame it on Meagan, you can blame it on COVID, you can do whatever you want to. Let me just go ahead and say that that dog don't hunt either. And, you know, the turnabout in the case when Chris Dontell decided to come forward with what he knew, he did end up testifying in court against Meagan Jackson during her trial week. And he told the jury that in October of 2020, that Meagan shot and killed Gregory Rice, the father of her 4 children. And Dontell confessed that he took Gregory Rice's body to the Little PD River and left it where a fisherwoman discovered it more than a month after Rice was reported missing. And why this man would do that, I can't tell you the reasons. There is not one good reason for that. But I will tell you this, digital forensics helps to solve cases just like this. Having those cell phone forensics, being able to track where people were and where they went, and then asking, so tell me about that day. Because if you are going to tell the truth and then they get your cell phone records and they can track where you've been and it don't match the story that you've told, you in a world of trouble. And the fact that it took him 1,500 days to say that, it's troublesome to say the least. I appreciate y'all joining me to go over this case. There's another homicide case that I wanted to review. I'm going to have to see if I can pull some clips on it, and I'll let you guys know when I'm going to do a little stream on it. This was in regards to a mother and son in a Green Sea homicide. Green Sea is, if you take Highway 9 from where I live and take it all the way out, going towards Nichols, South Carolina, you'll run to a little town called Green Sea. And there was a court case that took place on July the 14th of 2025. And this woman and her son pled guilty before their joint trial was scheduled to begin. And this case happened in 2023 with the death of a Chadburn man, Samantha Watts, age 42, and Peyton Watts, 18. Both of Green Sea pled guilty on the 10th to murder, and they got sentenced on July the 14th. So I wanted to take a look at that case because that is another wild case. I mean, you have a mother and son who took somebody's life. And she has other kids that are going to end up doing time too because they were all involved in it. And again, it's another case in Horry County. And they are kids. Yes. You cannot make this up. We have so much stuff going on down here. It's a little scary, actually. And that's why I tell people, if you come down here, stay vigilant. Because if you go missing, I can't promise you that anybody's going to look for you down here. I might look for you, but I don't know if the police will. Hell, they don't even want to make a missing persons case. So many concerning things going on. But I appreciate y'all taking the time to join me. Please hit the like. Share this out. I believe that this case was tried with justice. And I'll let you guys know when I'm going to have another live stream. Probably have a couple lives next week. Let me know if you enjoyed my live today when I made those Southern buttermilk biscuits today. What'd y'all think about that? They sure is good, I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah, Chicago, you can't imagine, Carl. I would never want to go, but I don't go above the Mason-Dixon, honey. That's not for me. Born in the South, raised in the South. Listen, when people retire, Carl, they don't move up north. That's not a thing. They just don't. Ain't nobody moving up north. They all trying to move down here where I am. But this is where I was born and raised. I appreciate that, Crystal. Yeah, please do go back over there and watch it. We had a good time. And I also made hubby some homemade guacamole while my biscuits were cooking in my skillet. So all the ingredients are in the description of that video for the buttermilk biscuits. So if y'all got a few minutes, I'll play a couple clips from it. But if y'all ready to get on out of here and see what's happening on the YouTube streets, y'all can do that too. Puppy's asleep. Puppy's sleeping. We ran and chased the birds and walked a couple trips down to the boat landing today, and she's spent. She was monitoring me making biscuits in the kitchen. She was hoping I was going to drop something on the floor for her, but I didn't. Yes, sir, Carl, you missed it. You love guacamole? Well, I showed how I make mine. You want me to play those clips? I'll share. Let me go see if I can share my live. Hang on a minute. Let me go over here and see if I can. I'm gonna share my whole screen, and we'll just pull my live up. Why not? Avocados are good for you. Let me back out of this court TV case. I'll go over here to my channel. If you know, you know. Maybe we'll do some more cooking lives. Y'all just tell me what you want me to make. Oh, let me see what I got here. Chunky. Let's see what I got here. We'll get to the nitty-gritty part of it. Hubby was helping me cut biscuits. Y'all don't be looking at my ugly face. I've had a long day today. I'm going to have to get me a better camera. I had to move all of my stuff around because you couldn't see because I was in the sunshine and I had this glare. I think that, let's get to this part right here. So this is where I'm talking about my flour. I'll start it with this and I'll tell you. Now the flour I use self-rising flour. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't have to add baking soda, baking powder, or salt to it. Self-rising is the best way to make homemade biscuits, okay? Now, if you have all-purpose flour, you're going to need to add baking powder and salt and baking soda to it. But if you're cooking with self-rising flour, you don't have to add that. And where I get my salt is I use sweet cream salted butter. So we'll just go back over here and we'll play the biscuit part here. Let's see what we got here. Good tricks. Now, the one thing that Meemaw always puts, I have a teaspoon right here. Now, let's remember, we have 2 cups of self-rising flour in my bowl. 2 cups. Yes, self-rising flour. That's what it is, Carl. I use White Lily. You can use Martha White. But self-rising flour, that's what I use. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I use, which, I mean, I don't know what kind of sugar y'all use. We don't use white sugar because it's not good for you. It's over-processed. So I use sugar in the raw. I highly recommend it. If y'all use white sugar, I don't like over-processed. So I take a teaspoon of granulated sugar in the raw and add it to my flour. I know y'all think that's crazy, but I'm telling you, 1 teaspoon of sugar in your biscuits, you have to do it. You have to. Your biscuits extra flavor. Wait a minute, you see one eye in the camera? That's me. All right, so we got the sugar. Now we want to add the butter. We want to put a whole stick of butter. I use sweet cream salted because, well, you want to have a little bit of salt in it. And since I'm not adding that extra salt because I'm using the self-rising flour, I use sweet cream salted, but you can use unsalted butter. You can also use lard. You can also use vegetable shortening to make your biscuits. Let me make this lard. But this is 4 ounces, or it's 8 tablespoons. And it usually has a measuring thing on it right here. So we're going to use this whole stick. And let me show you how we're going to do it. Yeah, put your seatbelt on, Carl. I like the brown sugar in the raw. That's the best. The brown granulated because it's not over-processed. And don't forget to like the stream. Share it out if you think somebody wants to learn how to make biscuits the Southern way. And Betty. Now, this is a good tip right here. Listen, Meemaw had all the tips. Listen, I can learn y'all something. I can learn y'all something over here. Me and That's So Crystal, we can learn y'all something. Y'all just stick around. Yes, I'm going to use the whole damn stick, Carl. I'm in South Carolina. We're going to use that whole stick of butter to make these biscuits, honey. I promise. If you're watching, maybe you should take some lessons and quit making fun of the way that I talk. Yeah, that was for Betty. You crazy heifer. All right, so everybody have a grater? You know, like a cheese grater. I'm gonna get me a spray. Y'all watch. This is what I cut my butter with. On the big side. So you can freeze your butter or get it straight out of the refrigerator. So I just take my butter and grate it straight into the flour. Did y'all know you could do that? Y'all thank me later for this. I usually freeze my butter. You don't want to melt it or anything like that. I always keep a couple sticks frozen in the freezer for this particular thing. Yes, Carl, this is the best way. I'm telling you, you got to trust and believe in the process. Now, later tonight, I'm going to be doing a short stream to talk about the coroner case here with Meagan Jackson and Chris Dontell. And we're going to look at Chris Dontell. He got his sentencing on Monday, and that'll be around 8:30, 8:45 after we make these biscuits. So if y'all happen to be free and you want to come back and for about an hour and listen to that, please do drop by. All right, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. When it gets too small, I just usually cut it up with a little knife. But if you're real brave, you can do like me and just run it up down the grater with your fingers. I suggest this only for expert level. You might cut your fingers. 100%. Trust and believe. All right. And see, you got all this nice little fine butter. Looks like mozzarella cheese. What if you don't have a cast iron skillet? Yeah, you can do it on a baking sheet. You can do it on a baking sheet. I mean, I only make biscuits in a cast iron skillet, so, but I mean, I'm sure you could. Well, sometimes I take a little butter knife and I'll cut up the last little chunk, but really I just run my fingers on the grater till I get it all in there. Fuzzy Puff said, I've never seen a grater used in that manner. I feel I have not lived life properly due to being a city person. I tell you, I'm going to learn y'all something. It's the techniques. I'm telling you, it's the best way to make these. I've caught a knuckle too, Elizabeth. It's a dog to break up that butter. I got a chopper, Laughing Heart, for my onions. But I still do mince onions by hand with my little knife because I'm just used to it. Now, if I get these biscuits made, we're going to make some homemade guacamole. Who likes homemade guacamole? Because my husband needs some. And I told him I'd make it on the live if he wanted me to. Now, listen, you can just use your little butter knife that I use for the flour, and you can cut that last little bit of butter up, but you want it to be really fine. And then what I do is, if you guys can see this, I don't know, the sun might still be, but I just take the butter and you want to kind of sift it into the flour. This is important to break it up. You think this is golden? Oh, I'm glad you're, and because you want to break up those chunks. You never thought of using a grater for butter? Follow me for more tips. Y'all, I crack myself up. I know a couple little things. I know a little something about something. This ain't my first rodeo. Listen, my mama made biscuits when I was a kid in the 70s. And she thought she was doing her mama's recipe, Meemaw. God bless her. And I'll never forget it. Daddy came home from working out of state. And she told my daddy she made biscuits. And she served them up. And Daddy took that biscuit and he tried to bite it. And it was hard as a golf ball. And he threw it into the brick fireplace. It's a true story. And needless to say, it bounced off the fireplace. It happened. And Mama never made biscuits after that. She bought canned biscuits. Yeah. You know, the kind that when you pop them open, you almost have a heart attack. So my mama asked me, she said, I just can't believe you can make my mama's biscuits. And I could never get it right. So I didn't learn it from my mama, y'all. I learned it straight from. Y'all notice I have both eyebrows on. I just want to point that out. Put a 1 in the chat if you notice that I have both eyebrows. And yeah, Elizabeth, I cannot see without my glasses on because I'm old and stuff. Meemaw. Of course, this is the same lady who wouldn't teach me how to use a sewing machine either because she said I would sew my fingers together, okay? But you know who does know how to use the sewing machine? The Duke. That man can sew anything. He could probably make my own clothes if I needed it. And he won't even show me how to use the sewing machine, probably because he thinks I'd sew my fingers together still. The Duke can use the sewing machine like nobody's business. Okay, so now we got all this butter. And now you just have this right here. See how fine that is? It's just like, I mean, you want to sift that butter with your fingers till it's just like silt. Now, only the country people know what I'm talking about, but all of that butter, you just want to make sure that all of that's broken down into the flour and mixed. Meemaw was savage. She used to chase me with the broom when I'd sass her. I am buttering them biscuits. They're good too, let me tell you. Just this fine, with tiny little chunks of butter. Allie says, my husband knows how to also, and I do not. You can sew cash? That's awesome. Y'all, I can't touch my screen. And Duke, if you're listening, you need to get back in here so you can do the comments because I need to slide them up and down, but I can't because I got dirty hands. I cracked myself up. All right, let's go forward. But these biscuits, hey, puppy, you can't eat biscuits either. They're not like cookies, you know. Okay. I know. So you see the glare too, babe?
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I had to move the thing because obviously that was not working. I have to get Duke to fix the kitchen. Yeah, let me turn on my light. So let me wipe out this.
It's actually butter.
Yeah, it's not Crisco. We're definitely not putting vegetable shortening in our biscuits. Baby, but you can use vegetable shortening. You can use lard in place of the butter. You can use Crisco. But I don't use that stuff. No, I use sweet cream butter, salted. Oh, Carl, they're delicious. Especially with some warm honey or like some strawberry jam. Some good old sausage gravy. Yeah. Like my biscuits.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good? Okay. They're just pretty good, though?
Yeah, you missed my comment earlier.
Oh, yeah, because I can't touch the screen. Oh, Allie says that's much better now. We had to. I'll know better next time. Now, this is gourmet buttermilk. Gotta have butter. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, let me tell you how to make it. You take, well, you got your phone. I think you take a measuring cup like this and add 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Prefer like white vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then fill the rest of the measuring cup up till it's 1 cup. And then you need to let it sit there for about 10 or 15 minutes.
It says 5 minutes.
Well, I prefer it to be longer because I don't think 5 minutes works. And I'll tell you why. Because I made biscuits one time. Remember that time I made biscuits and it didn't work?
Yeah.
That was the time that I didn't have buttermilk and I made it and I didn't let the milk sit long enough. It didn't, no. So 1 tablespoon of the white vinegar and then fill the milk up on top all the way to 1 cup and then let it sit. I would say about 10 minutes. And then you'll have buttermilk because really in milk, you just have to add an acid. You can also use lemon juice. Allie said, Duke says, it says 5 minutes. It does, but really I would give it 10 because I would give it 10 for sure. Yeah, you can make your own buttermilk. You just need regular milk and an acid. If you don't have white vinegar, I mean, you can even use apple cider vinegar. If you don't have any vinegar, you can use lemon juice. But I think a good 10 minutes. You just got to mix that up and let it just sit there. Just let it sit there. I would suggest 10 to 15 minutes because you want the milk to start curding up. Because that's what buttermilk is. It's sour. It's sour milk. Longer the better that the acid sits in the milk. You're going to have a better effect. But you can also use lemon juice. The more you know. So if you...
Babe, show me how to get back to the comments.
Okay, hit live chat right there. And then you go, see you're on top chat reminder, all messages. Listen, I'm educating everybody. All right, so we're doing 1 cup. Here's my cup again. And we're doing the buttermilk. But remember, if you don't have buttermilk, you can make your own buttermilk. All right, and so I'm just going to make me like a little, push this all to the center. Y'all can see that. Need to pull it back. It's the same. Come over here and operate this. I just pour it right here in the middle.
It looks good.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
Here, will you put this buttermilk up for me? Put the cap on it. Okay. Now, I'm going to get my wooden spoon. And I wouldn't say beat it, but you want to mix all the flour and the buttermilk until it's all the way and it breaks away from the side of the bowl. Y'all watching this? So what are grits? Cash wants to know what grits are, babe. Tell him.
Well, it's made out of corn, right? Them hominy grits.
Yeah, it's good. I like sugar on my grits.
You simmer it and watch it. Sugar's nasty.
Listen, it's not.
It's butter and salt. That's
all right. So let me just tell you, I want to know how y'all eat y'all's grits because hubby only wants salt and butter, but I put sugar and butter on my grits and he thinks I'm crazy. But I do love my sugar and butter on my grits. Crystal, you got a cheat for making wine? Me too. We made some mean blackberry wine. Grandpa always drank buttermilk and had cornbread before bed. That was his bedtime snack.
yuck.
Yuck. Do you hear this, man? Yuck. Okay, see how the dough is starting? Fuzzy Puff. Carl. Grits and eggs? You've never had grits? Oh, Lord. You don't like grits, Crystal? I don't like grits with salt and butter because they taste like gravel. But I like sugar and butter in my grits, and it can't be instant grits. Exactly, Laughing Heart. I got to make my grits like I get the stone grits, and I make them fresh. Mm-hmm. Crystal, I don't know. I'll have to ask the Duke because he's got the recipe. We got it from one of his clients. I'll have to look it up. He's got it written down on a recipe card in the kitchen somewhere. The lump up? That's what we want. And see, it's breaking away from the sides and it's kind of individual now. So we're going to get all this off here, off this spoon. And I need to prepare my flour on the counter. And we're going to get started. Harley's assistant in the background. She's looking for treats. Allie said my mother used to chase me with a wooden spoon when I was bad. Does that count? I've been chased with a spoon, a broom, a switch, you name it. All right, so this is my 1/4 cup. So I'm going to take some. I don't know, Crystal. I'll have him to go find the recipe and I'll let you know. I'll post it in the recipe chat in Discord. Remember, if y'all were a member of the top 3 tiers, y'all can come over to Discord. I got all my recipes over there. It's just a cool little hangout. Like, it's nothing serious. It's just a place where we share funny memes, recipes, pictures of our animals, stuff like that. Flour, and I'm just going to throw it all over my counter right here. Put a little extra on the side because I'll need it because I made biscuits earlier and I needed it. So we'll keep that right here for right now. So I'm just, and yes, my countertops are clean because I am OCD. You notice I've washed, I mean, if you watch this whole live stream, I bet I washed my hands 25 times in this live stream. Spreading this flour out. Babe, can you move that glass thing and pull that light back some so they can see better? Because I noticed that, I guess, I'm on my phone. It just doesn't do justice. I need to get a big camera.
Better.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Can y'all see that better? Hey, Chico says, no, I haven't seen Crystal. Yeah, I was wondering if Crystal was coming because this is for her. See, Crystal, we's checking on you. So I hope everything's good. Okay, so now I'm going to take out my dough and I'm going to put it on this flour. And then I'm going to have the Duke to pick up this bowl and get it out of y'all's way when I get done getting it all out. All right, you can take it. All right, y'all with me so far? This is a simple recipe. I know, Crystal. It's okay, darling. Flour on that. Y'all see my dough that I got out here? Now, this is pretty important because you don't want to overwork your dough. Okay? So I just, before I do anything, I just kind of pat it out into this rough rectangle. A bunch of dough still on my hands here, let me.
It's flour on your hands.
I know, I need to get some more flour. Okay, there we go. All right, now. So we're just going to pat it out in this rough rectangle. I just mopped these floors. I'm going to have to mop them again after I do this. And then I just start folding it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and fold it over. Then I'm going to fold this side over. If you overwork the dough, your biscuits will come out tough, like mama's baseballs. So you can't be overworking the dough. So that, but the folding technique, you want to do it 8 times, 4 times, and then repeat. This over. That's 3 and 4. Get some flour on it. And then we're going to repeat it again. We're going to fold it in half. We're going to fold it again. Going to fold it again. What do you think about it, honey?
That's beautiful. Can I cut them?
Can you cut them? You can. Yeah, the Duke has. And then we're going to fold it again. And then I'm going to pick this up because I noticed I got some extra dough right here. So I'll move some of this extra dough that didn't take and get me some more flour. I didn't say it wasn't going to be messy. Okay. All right. Now. All right. So then you want to just press it out. And you can use a fluted cutter, but I don't use a fluted cutter. You need to learn how to make gluten-free biscuits. Well, I'm sure you could get gluten-free flour.
The day.
And
so what do you use, babe?
I use a mason jar. So what?
Wide mouth.
Yeah, that's what I use to cut my biscuits because I'm old school Southern. I don't need no cookie cutters. I just use a mason jar, y'all. Obviously, we don't use the bottom. We use the open end.
Cut.
Listen at him. I'm going to cut. Okay, so take it and you need to go and then go around. Yeah. Okay. And then.
Show them how thick those biscuits are. They about 3/4 to an inch, maybe. I want to say.
Y'all see that? What y'all think? See, Crystal, it's easy. You can do it. Oh, wait. Okay, you can get one more.
I can get 2 more.
Well, I'm going to fold it over, though. I'm going to fold it. Wait. I'm going to fold it. So when you have all this extra, what I do is just fold the dough back to square one. Make sure you have plenty of flour so you can throw it back in the middle. I love that hubby. Y'all can't see him, but like, he's like, oh, I can't even turn this. He's like literally standing with his arms around me. I have 4 arms, y'all. So I'm just going to throw it back over here like this. And I'm going to fold it a couple times so we can get like an even consistency. Babe, you're too much. Hubby, he's a something. And then I'm going to mash it back down so we can get a couple more biscuits out of this dough. He just wants to cut the biscuits, y'all. That's all he cares about. Everybody following along? How's everybody doing? Hey, Michelle. Did I see Michelle in there? I can't move the thing because my hands got flour on them. That's a good looking biscuit right there now. We had this happen before where the biscuit gets stuck. Just have to. There we go. Oh, my cooking's better than Waffle House, Carl.
All right, let's put those in the thing and start cooking.
Okay, so now we're going to add that to the skillet. We might can get one more biscuit out of this, babe. Let me see what I can do here. Waste not, want not. What's enough? Crystal, that's the truth. The South is, I'm like Southern Charm South, and Crystal's Holler South. There is a difference. There is for sure.
Other dish that you like me to cook for you, babe, that you think is really good.
I like that whatever you put on the pork chops and cook them in this same skillet.
The honey garlic
Yeah.
roasted pork chops.
Yeah, there's some kind of, I don't know, mixture that she mixes up.
I make them with love.
It's
That's
really
right.
tasty. Yeah, let's just get one more because we're gonna have too many biscuits.
Well, we'll take some to Carla.
Y'all know my
All right,
neighbor
now
Carla.
we're gonna.
This is only what?
I'm gonna take some to my neighbor Carla tomorrow. Y'all know Carla. Crazy Carla, my neighbor. I think everybody on the internet knows Carla's my neighbor now.
7, 8 biscuits right there.
Okay, so
Which, I mean, for us, that's more than enough.
I'm gonna take a few to the neighbor.
I just want to say, check out them pants I'm wearing. Those are my silk Victoria's Secret pajama pants with the Hawaiian palms on them. I love them pants. They're so comfortable.
Okay, so now we got to clean up this mess over here real quick. But what we're going to do is I'm going to put these in the skillet and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So let me get my phone out. See any comments that I've missed.
All right.
Make some guac. Do is we're going to place these. Yes, hold the phone this way and make. Let me see if you point it at the pan.
All right, let me just say that placement in the skillet is important because your biscuits need to be touching each other in order for them to do right. Don't ask me why, but it just has to be that way.
Yeah, right there. Okay, so when you put these biscuits in here,
And that's only got just a couple little squirts of olive oil in the bottom of the skillet, by the way.
this is key. When you're cooking them in a skillet, you want the biscuits to be touching each other. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, the biscuits need to be touching each other. Now, I made more biscuits than I did earlier today, so I'm going to have to move them further out apart.
Yeah, I made biscuits twice
to make my circle. I'm going to have one in the middle. So we're going to bring them in all together, like so. Capiche? Okay.
I cracked.
Now, I have the oven set on 425.
This is key right here, the temperature. Because when you're cooking in the skillet, you need that skillet to get hot. Okay? I'll have to look it up to see if you cook them on a baking sheet, like how that would actually turn out. But I preheat my oven to 425, but when you stick that skillet in here, you're going to jack that son of a gun up to 500 degrees. Okay?
And what we're going to do now, also, Michelle bought me this nice rag right here. She bought me this little set, and it says baking because murder is wrong.
Y'all see that? Michelle bought me that. And that hangs on my oven. And I just love her for it. That is my motto. One of my mottos.
That is on my. All right, so we're going to take this skillet and we're going to put it in the oven.
I think if you hit somebody in the head,
and once we get the skillet in there, we're going to jack this temperature up to 500. Okay. And then we're going to set the timer. No, we're not that one.
That one.
This one, we're going to set the timer. 17 minutes. We're going to start out with 17 and see. And we want the biscuits to be brown on top. So let me just say you should really do it for about 18 minutes because I think I let it go for another minute because you want them to just be brown on the top. Wait a minute. Your mama don't do biscuits like that? Honey, this is the only way I can make them. This is the only way I know how. I don't know any other way to make them, Crystal. This is the way Meemaw taught me to make them when I was like 16 years old. And I'm going to be 52 in January, so that's how long I've been making these biscuits. I don't know any other way, honey. So if your mama makes them different, I'd like to see how your mama makes them. Look at my crazy hair. Okay, so let's go. Now I'm making guacamole. Y'all probably don't want to see guacamole, right? I'll take you to the biscuits. I'm sure y'all don't want to see me whipping up guacamole. But if you do, you can go watch it over there. But the biscuits get done. Oh, here they come. Oh, here's my spoon. Y'all see my spoon? Michelle bought me that spoon too. About to stir up some shit. But notice it's never been used because I ain't stirred up any shit. So it just sits there so I can look at the spoon and be like, Michelle bought me that. Along with my towel and my apron. And y'all going to see my apron here in a minute. I should have been wearing my apron the whole time. It was hanging over there on the back side of the fridge and I didn't think about it. But so this is where the biscuits come out.
And about to stir up some shit.
You know, about to stir up some shit. Same thing. Michelle knows she's the one that bought it for me. And I do have a, which I'm not even wearing it, but I should be because I'm cooking. But it's hanging over here on the door right here. Let me get it. Yeah, they should be good now.
You want to get this on?
Yeah, hang on. And then I got this apron that she got me. And it says, your opinion is not part of the recipe. Michelle got me that too. Bye, Layla. Your opinion is not part of the recipe. I love that apron. Mama would have a slur in the bowl, make a big ball, squeeze some bee off, roll a ball, and then, no, I just don't make them that way. You'll have to show me how she makes them, Crystal. All right, hang on. Let me get y'all out of here so I can show y'all the biscuits. All right. Look at that, y'all.
That one got a little wonky, didn't it?
Yeah, that one did get a little wonky, but you know what? I bet it tastes good, though. What y'all think about that? Now, how many YouTubers y'all see cooking on the live stream making live biscuits like that? Nobody. Them biscuits look good. Crystal, girl, you know I can't. What kind of flour does she use, though? Because I use self-rising. I feel like I can't do it right with the all-purpose flour and adding all that extra mess. It just don't turn out the same. Oh, you meant to say burnt toast? Oh, it's okay. Oh, she was redirecting?
Well, I'm glad you're still here, Layla. Self-rising, yeah, that's what I use. It works the best. Don't them biscuits look good? I'm gonna tell you what, they are so good. Huh? That's right. Some butter and honey, horsewoman, or some strawberry grape jelly on it. Mmm. Oh. Hang on, let me get him over here. Hubby's gonna get him out of the skillet. Ooh, they're hot, baby.
They're hot.
Well, you probably shouldn't be holding them in your hand. They just came out of 500 degrees.
But they're perfect.
Duke is gonna burn his damn hand. See how fluffy they are? Listen, I ain't no spring chicken. I wasn't born last night. I have a little bit of practice under my apron right here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna put this back in there just to get the heat out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, that oven be popping. Shoo-wee. Hang on, let me get y'all back in this thing. All right, that was the biscuits. Now the rest of it's my guacamole. If y'all want to go over there and look at the guacamole, this is the... You can see me cutting up the tomatoes, smashing up the avocados, and all of that stuff. I'm squeezing out my limes. I mean, I make everything fresh. I don't buy nothing from the store. Like, I make it completely fresh. Look at me and my funny face. There's my guacamole. Let me see. I think I'm going to show it to y'all. At some point. Hang on. Seems like I hold it up for y'all to... Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's my guacamole. And it's a little bit chunky because of the tomatoes and the onion. It's in it, but it's pretty smooth. That's some good guacamole right there. Made with love. And that's all I got for y'all. It's your bedtime, Carl. Well, you go have a good night. I appreciate y'all joining me to talk about this case. And y'all got to see my biscuits. If you want to go over there and catch that guacamole recipe, please do. Maybe we'll cook again sometime if y'all enjoy my cooking. And you don't want to make fun of my accent like Betty does. We can do it again. And maybe Crystal will join me next time. You will sleep well? I'm glad, Carl. I'm so glad you came over. It was really good to see you. I hope you have a wonderful night. If you make these biscuits, Carl, you'll have to let me know how they turn out. And Crystal, I'm so glad that you came over tonight. I appreciate all of y'all being here. Layla and Dragon, Sunday, Laughing Heart. Appreciate y'all being here. Elizabeth, Fuzzy Puff. We had a great conversation about this case tonight. Appreciate all y'all being here. Chico was over here. Chatty. Who else we have in here tonight? We had a few people dropping in and out. Probably some people watching in the bushes, I'm sure. I appreciate y'all coming over and supporting. I hope everybody has a good night. And I'm going to have a live. I'm working on a few things. Chico has a case out of Memphis that she is getting some information on that she wants me to talk about. And so she's going to be joining me on panel. So we might do that sometime next week as well. Just keep track on my YouTube community wall. I will post the link there whenever I'm going to have a live stream. And I hope everybody has an amazing week. It's Friday, y'all. It's going to be Friday here in about 9 minutes. So I hope everybody has an amazing Friday, an amazing weekend. Go out and touch grass, breathe in the fresh air, try to minimize the drama because there is enough of that going around. And take care of yourself. And I hope you come back and hang out with us again. I really enjoyed just being able to talk and laugh and share different things with you guys, you know, besides being serious all the time, you know. And Puppy says good night. She's asleep in my lap now. She forgets she's 79 pounds. She's laying on top of me like she's a little lap dog. So I got to go take her out to go potty. But I'll see y'all around in these streets. Y'all be kind to each other. And don't be a hater like Betty. So, y'all take it easy. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. And I appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me.
Did y'all not see it? It was Duchess. Duchess.
We started a game we never got to finish.
I was just fooling about.
I wasn't.
Working hard, but we never out of breath.
I'm your huckleberry.
On to the next. Everybody take a rest. Can a man just flex? Flex. I said beggars never choose, winners never lose. Who the fuck is you? About to take a snooze. Begging tell the truth, yeah, begging tell the truth. Lying to yourself, but in your eyes you got no clue. I come back like spinal and spin the vinyl. Don't come back with my flow, there'll be no survival. I'm defiant with the rules everywhere that I go. But I lay low if I pick the high road, yeah. And it goes, no rest for the wicked at all. And they know. Working hard, but we never out of breath. On to the next. Everybody take a rest. Can a man just flex? Working hard, but we never out of breath. On to the next. Everybody take a rest. Can a man just flex? Flex. Give me the jewels, give me the goals, give me the good shit, keep it brand new. I had to move, switch fuels. I was getting kinda sick of the commute. Give me a Uber with no roof, and I crashed Bandicoot. Put the ice in my glass like the cup caught the flu. Sick, I choke. And you don't say as you do now. And it goes, no rest for the wicked at all. And they know. Working hard, but we never out of breath. On to the next.